It's a camera. No, that'll work. I'll be able to dig things out.
There's a ladder in the van.
Oh, okay. Yeah, these are the, yeah, they're, they make 575. You could supercharge them and make 700. They are the 540 cubic inch. Water's gotten in the cabin too. Yeah. These poor things, they just sit and rot. Sure. Yeah.
Where are you?
She's right back there.
I hear her pussyfooting, but she knows I'll say that. You better get over here. Hey.
By the way, let me know what you guys think of me collecting these old Formula speedboats every single vintage. The goal is to have 4 overall. So the 85 302 SR1, early 90s 357 or 311 SR1, 93 to 96 336 or 303 SR1, and then a 97 or newer 353 or 382 Fast Tech. Let me know what you guys think, what your opinion is on these Formula speedboats. Like I said, the goal is to have a collection of 4 of them, all of which kind of showing, you know, how Formula has progressed over the years. And unfortunately, they don't build these boats anymore. So my goal is to keep them preserved and keep them alive. And if you guys have any of these boats or are looking for one of these boats and need help fixing it up, hit us up. That's what I'd like to be doing. I'd like to be fixing up and working on these old Formulas for any of you guys. Alongside my current projects. It'd be pretty awesome for us just to do old classic Formula speedboats and other classic speedboats for you. So hit me up, shoot me an email. It's down below in the description. Love to work on your boat project for you. Today, we begin our quest to find the next Formula speedboat for the Boat Revival by Ben collection. Just finishing up making a cup of coffee, and today, I'm heading about an hour and 45 minutes south down to Solomon's Island, Maryland. And I was sent a tip by a follower that there's an old Formula that's sitting undercover. It's been parked for a very long time. This is one of those, well, let me back up. I'm forming my speedboat collection. All Formulas, I want every vintage of Formula since the 85 302 SR1 that I have. The next one for the collection, I want it to be in the 90s, and I want it to be the Silent Thunder swim platform with the curved windshield. Specifically, it's got to be over 30 feet, so it's got to be at least a 311, but I would really like the 357. So I'm going to be picky, but I'm balling on a budget here. So I'd like to get a 357 for under $15,000, and of course, I want it to be a project boat. So we can work on it and build it together, and you guys can see this whole boat come to be, and then have a nice collection once we're all done. But this is all I was sent. So a follower emailed me these photos, and first take, it's either a late 80s or early 90s. I'm hoping for early 90s. formula, I mean, it doesn't look like the 357 because the bow isn't long enough. So I'm thinking it's a 311 triple axle trailer. It's got Missouri registration on it, and I really can't pick out the year. It looks like 07. Another 07, which would be wild. That's what the 85 registration was. It's got the Morse lights, aluminum triple axle trailer, sitting under a tarp, but I don't think the bow is long enough to be a 357. I think this is a 311, and I don't know what the lady wants for it. It was her son's, and I think he passed away, unfortunately. But they did own and run a engine building shop. There you go. You guys can see a little bit better. This thing's just tucked away, covered in leaves. It's got bottom staining. It's disgusting. But it's worth a drive to go look at it. With it only being an hour and 40 minutes away, I might as well go take a peek. I really don't want to pull the trigger on a 311 unless it's got some crazy badass engine package inside of it. I'd rather wait to find a 357. I know of one on Marketplace right now that's got a blown up engine. So today we're just looking, not bringing a boat home, but I want to go take a peek. You know, if I can buy this thing for under, say, $8,000 and it's not completely rotten, well, it needs to not be completely rotten for that case. But yeah, if I can get this thing for anything under $8,000, then even if it's not the 357, I'd buy it, fix it up, and sell it to one of you guys. So here we go. Let's go on a road trip, see what this thing's all about. See you down. All right, so this just happened real time. I just got off the phone with the nice lady, Gloria, who owns the boat, and she found the title last night. So it turns out, good news and bad news, it's an 88. Don't love that, but that's in the years that they made the boats that I'm looking for, Silent Thunder, curved windshield. And it's 37.7 feet long, which tells me that it is a 357 SR1, which is huge. That is what I'm looking for. And ultimately, I wouldn't mind having an 88 357 if it was the right boat structurally, because that would still play to that vintage of formula for the collection, and then it would leave room for 93 336 or 303 SR1 with the swept back and transom, and then a fast tech. I would love to break into the 2000s and get like a 2000 2002 353 fast tech. But anyway, it's an 88. It sounds like a 357. I'm gonna look up the formula brochure real quick. I don't think they made anything that was 38 feet long, but even if they did, it would spec out on paper overall length longer than that. So I think it's the 357. We're gonna find out. Just something I think is funny, having lived in Maryland for 5 years now. If you want to get to Solomon's Island, you take Solomon's Island Road all the way down there. It's Route 2, Maryland Route 2, but it's just funny. To get to Solomon's Island, how do you get there? Oh, just take Solomon's Island Road, and then you'll run into Solomon's Island. Love it. And it's like 55 degrees today. Feeling good about this. Well, when I first arrived, I didn't want to make a big deal of the camera, so I just took some walk around footage and I walked us through the whole boat. But to my surprise, the first thing that I found that I was not expecting were these Mercruiser 5 drives. And if you see these drives on a boat, they're pretty rare nowadays because they've upgraded to newer Mercury Racing stern drives. But that means that there is some sort of engine package in this boat that is way beefier than just your standard 454 big block with a carburetor. So I'm really interested to find out what's inside the boat. First and foremost, I mean, that is a huge win in regards to this thing because it looks rough. I mean, did you see the bottom growth on the back of the transom there? This thing sat in the water for a long time. and must have been neglected or not ran, because it should not look like that. And obviously it was hauled out, parked on this trailer, and there it sat. No one even cared to take the bottom growth off. So not the best sign right away, but really nice triple axle aluminum trailer. And there it is, the Missouri decals with the '07 sticker. So I got the story from the owner. Unfortunately, her son passed away. This was going to be his project. I guess he had it out on the water in 2020 or something like that. And then unfortunately he passed away, so it got parked here on this trailer. And allegedly they rebuilt one of the motors. They retitled it, so it has a Maryland title, but it was never re-registered. So this thing basically hasn't hit the water in, again, almost 20 years. It hasn't been sitting here for 20 years. It was in Missouri. I'm assuming the Lake of the Ozarks. That could probably be, or Branson area, or Bull Shoals or something like that. But this boat probably came from the Lake of the Ozarks. The lady said this thing sat since 2022. But, I mean, I have a hard time believing this boat ended up looking like this and getting into this condition in just 3 years. But I could be wrong. Maryland's pretty humid. It gets pretty gross. But this thing was definitely parked out back here to unfortunately pass away, just like the rest of these vehicles that you see. But the next thing that was pretty discouraging upon arrival was all these leaves, and then of course the Home Depot tarp that is draped over the top and completely caved in, which tells me there's going to be a ton of water and moisture inside of the boat. Here I took a moisture meter to the hull, and to my surprise, actually nothing pegged over 30%. If you have some real moisture in there, in the transom, whatever it might be, I mean, granted, things could be dry rotten, but pretty good numbers. I mean, there we got 17%. There's a little bit of foam, or there's a little bit of coring right here on the hull side. That went to 18%. Other than that, the boat's fiberglass, so that's pretty encouraging in regard to the actual hull structure itself. And then, of course, there is the Silent Thunder swim platform. Okay, getting inside the boat here, it's bad. That engine hatch is waterlogged and soaked. The moment that I stepped on it, everything started cracking apart. And it is as nasty and wet as I've seen one of these boats in the inside. I mean, I'm assuming the entire upholstery needs to be redone. First thing you'd have to do on this thing is just gut all the junk out of it, vacuum all these leaves out, and then get the power washer out. The shifters, throttles, nice gaff rig performance shifters and throttles, but the cables are all seized up, couldn't even move them forward and backwards. The cabin looks relatively dry. However, some water has definitely been in here. I mean, look at the carpet, look at the floor. Ton of junk in there. I mean, I don't think the boat has many hours on it, but again, sitting like this, uncovered or covered improperly, is not good for these things. And I'm seeing a lot more work and money and time that it would take to put into something like this to bring it back to life, to at least be comfortable and usable, then it may be worth. I mean, really, running and driving, at most, this is a $20,000 boat. So, coming to the back here, again, I mean, that seat cushion isn't even salvageable. You need new foam, you need new wood, all of that. So, here, let's get the engine hatch open and see what we're dealing with in regards to engines. Okay, thankfully the engine hatch was not secured to its hydraulic electric ram, but look at that. Those are the 575 horsepower Mercruiser racing engines that they specifically made, 8.9 liters or 8.8 liters, 450 cubic inch, to run on pump gas, like 87. So Mercruiser made these back in the late 80s, early 90s, specifically to run on pump gas, make 575 horsepower, I think 525 at the prop shaft, and paired to the Mercruiser 5 drives. So this is a sweet engine package for this boat. Definitely an upgrade Stock would have been some standard 454s. But that's about where the excitement ends. You know, if these engines bar over and are rebuildable, there could be some value here. I mean, those stainless steel long tube headers are badass, and those things are worth some money. But I mean, overall, even if these things are rebuildable, you're spending at least $10,000 to $15,000 of your own money to get them running and driving again. If you do it the right way. And I just don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze there. This engine hatch is trashed. I mean, I would need a brand new one. The fiberglass was floppy as all get out, and was super wet due to all the upholstery just getting soaked with that cover not doing any good. And I mean, looking around too, these were not closed loop cooled, so they were running raw water out of them. Unfortunately, I'm sure some salt water went through them, and it ended up rusting quite a bit of things. There's the name. Looks like it says full service on it. But that's it. I mean, this 357 is worse for wear. The coolest thing is these propellers and stern drives and engines. And I'm not sure what we're going to do with this boat. Well, now that was very interesting. Very nice lady, very nice guy. That was her helper. That boat's been sitting there for a very long time. You know, you guys just watched all that footage, and I voiced over, you know, everything that was going on and that we saw. But let's just debrief a little bit. It is it's the 357 SR1. It's an 88. And much to my surprise, it had the updated or upgraded engine package and 575 horsepower Mercury racing motors, or the upgraded Mercury motors, with, I believe, the number 2 or number 3 old Mercury stern drives that barred over just by spinning the prop, with big old cleaver props on it. That said, that is about the extent. Well, the trailer was nice too. Nice triple axle aluminum trailer, probably worth, you know, $3,000. Outside of that, I mean, you guys saw, pulled the cover off, and the upholstery's all cracked up. It was soaking wet. The engine hatch probably weighed 200 pounds at least, if not more, waterlogged. Just stepping on that upholstery back there, I felt bad about it until I pulled the tarp off. But it popped and cracked the moment you step foot on it. So the thing's soaked. The cabin was disgusting inside, just from years of sitting, years of water intrusion. I mean, this is what happens to these things when they sit like this for a long time. You know, and it's a shame, very unfortunate situation. Her son passed away too young, and had hopes of fixing that thing back up, and it just never came to fruition. So her and I had a very nice long conversation, got to know each other a little bit. I was very honest with her about the boat and its condition, and, you know, what things are worth. I'd say one of those boats in good running and driving condition is anywhere between $12,000 and $20,000, depending on what kind of engine packages it has and all that. But in that boat's current condition, you know, the boat itself, the engines and drives are probably worth a little bit of money, but otherwise you're going to have to pay somebody to pull that thing away. And they're going to gut the whole cockpit. You should gut the interior because there's a lot of mold down there. And then things looked pretty wet and gross and rusty inside of the engine compartment. So I'm going to stay in touch. I'm going to continue my hunt here for a 357 that's been in, let's just say, much better shape, or much better kept shape. Like I said, there is one on Facebook that I think the guy's asking $12,000, $13,000, and one of the engines is bad, but the boat is in really good shape. So you know, we'll see. That trailer would be nice to have for 3,000 bucks. And with the drives and engines as a bonus, maybe. But unfortunately, you know, I started doing quick math in my head, and the old receipt started clicking pretty quick for numbers in the $10,000 to $20,000 to $30,000 just to get that boat back to a condition that you know, would be enjoyable to be inside of. I mean, just upholstery alone, you're going to be spending $10,000 to $15,000 to have upholstery remade, completely remade, for the cockpit. Minus, I mean, the bolsters were, you reused the structure for the bolsters, but the upholstery and the foam, the vinyl and foam, would all need to be redone. So, you know, not a bad mission. I'm glad I went down and looked at it. I thought it was a 311 SR1. Was pleasantly surprised to find out it was a 357. Good sized boat, definitely a really good sized boat to see in person, and get a feel for size. Cockpit had a lot of space. It's a big boat, you know, that'd be a substantial runner in some rough conditions, and especially with, you know, 1,150 horsepower. I mean, I have no doubt that thing runs out 75, hopefully 80 miles an hour. As it's set up. So yeah, I'm gonna keep in touch. I'm gonna continue my search. It's a bummer. This is what happens to these old boats. They sit in the weeds, they get forgotten about. They were somebody else's problem that turned into somebody else's problem. And you know, not many people have the heart to bring something like that back to life or save it. So again, it's my mission to find and fix up and sell and keep and give to you guys these old speedboats, and keep this culture going. But it just takes the right person. So I guess that's me. But who knows? Maybe in a few weeks or a couple months, I'll be coming back down here to rescue that boat, bring it home, and salvage what I can. You know, we should talk about the hull condition. That hull actually didn't peg the moisture meter ever. A lot of bottom growth from sitting in the water for a long time, but nothing pegged over 28, 29% moisture readings, which is okay. That's in an acceptable threshold. The stringers on that boat are wood wrapped, or fiberglass wrapped wood, and the transom is a few inches of wood. So those are the areas to really check, see where, if those have moisture in them. They were fine. There's a little bit of coring on the hull sides. I checked that. That was like 17, 18%. So no numbers that were horrifying, which gives me hope about that hull. But as I was saying, I think you really have to take that hull down to bare bones and start from scratch if you wanted that thing to be fixed up nicely and reusable, and not just have a bunch of old, nasty, moldy stuff inside of it. So again, I don't know for a $12,000 to $20,000 boat in running driving condition if all that work would be worth the save to purchase it for $3,000 plus another, let's just say, couple grand, hoping that the drives and engines are actually in decent or rebuildable condition. So there you have it. Our search continues for the next Formula Silent Thunder and curved windshield boat for the Boat Revival by Ben collection. That boat had both those things, but I think it's going to be a little too much work for what we're looking to do. So, all right, guys, there are the facts. Take it easy. Hope you enjoy this content, and we'll catch you in the next video. All right, see ya.